Welcome to my cooking space, the Hot Stock Pot. I'm Susan. I love to teach. I love to cook. So let's see what we're going to make today. Ooh, Mom's potato latkes. Oh, and never be afraid to cook. All right, so if anybody didn't know, this is a traditional dish for Hanukkah. And it is very, shall we say, have a first aid kit nearby, because we're going to be grating potatoes and onions, and if you're not careful, if you're paying attention to something else, you may actually have some of your finger in your latkes. So pay attention when you're using this box grater. All right, let's break 2 eggs, and then we'll just kind of beat them slightly to loosen them up, like this with a fork, just a little bit. And then we're going to set this aside. And then comes the first step. Now, these are just onions. Whoops. And I cannot guarantee that you will not start bawling your eyes out, because this is, a labor of love. Okay, so we grate them. We do not shred them. We grate them. So let us get going. It really helps to have a very sharp, nice grater, because otherwise your onions start slipping and sliding all over the place, and you're at risk for, what I said before. See how nice this works? You want about 2.5 cups of grated onion. It wouldn't be great to grate your fingers on this. It's good upper arm exercise, I will give you that. Okay, so we're finished grating the onion, and this is what about 2 cups looks like. It was really 3 large size onions that are grated. So we're gonna dump that into a large bowl. It is kind of liquidy, and that liquid is nicely flavored with onions, so we're gonna keep most of the liquid. Then we're gonna add our potatoes. I have 6 or 7 of these large white russet potatoes. We're gonna grate those, same thing. Grating ain't done. All right, but this is much easier than the onions because it's not as wet. So you don't get as much dripping and sneezing and runny nose. See ya in a few hours. No, see you in a few minutes. All of our potatoes are grated and all of our onions are grated. And I just want to show you there's some fluid in here from the onions, and we're going to keep that because it's nice and flavored. However, there is a lot of liquid coming out of the potatoes, and I think you can sort of see it in here. And that we're going to kind of squish out because we don't want too much liquid. And you may notice that it's discoloring. The potatoes are discoloring. That's okay. Don't worry about it. That's what happens. The other thing I want you to know is in your container where you're putting your your grated potatoes, you'll see this kind of powdery, kind of slimy stuff. And that's good. That's potato starch. So we're going to add that back into the potatoes once we get the fluid out. So hold on a second. So you don't have to get all of the fluid out of the potatoes, just, kind of most of it. We're going to add the potatoes to the onions in a big bowl. Big bowl. All right. And then we're going to add the potato starch. And that'll help them be nice and fluffy, just like, starch does elsewhere in baking. And then we're going to mix it all up, but first we're going to add a few things. So 1 minute. All right, so now we're going to thicken this up and add some body. We're going to add 2 1/2 cups of matzo meal. Matzo meal is just matzah ground up. So 1, 2. I'm going to add 2 and see how the consistency is before I add that last 1/2 cup. So we have 2 cups of matzo meal in there to start. Then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt, just regular old salt. and it doesn't have to be exact. So we've added 2 teaspoons of salt, just regular iodized salt, and we're going to add our 2 eggs that are slightly whipped. Okay, 2 eggs. All right, and then we're gonna mix it all up. So grab a nice wooden spoon and go to it. And that's why you need a big bowl. This is gonna make a lot of latkes. Get it? A lot of latkes. All right. It's gonna take a while because there's so much stuff. We are now ready to rumble. We have about 1/4 of an inch of Matzo corn oil in our pan in a large skillet, and it's red hot. You can put a little piece of your batter in here and see if it sizzles. It's ready to go. So we have a large spoon. We just take out, I don't know, maybe 1/4 of a cup of the batter, put it in our hands and flatten it. And that's how you know you have the right texture. It holds its shape, see, like that, nice. And then you just gently put it in the hot oil. You don't want them to be too big, and you also don't want them to be too thick. So just, you know, nice and even like this, and then right into the oil. They're not all gonna be perfect, but they're gonna be delicious. I promise. So you're gonna work in batches. So at this size, you can fit about 7 or so of the latkes. Definitely keep your hands away from this hot oil. Okay, so there's 7. And I would suggest you have a couple of paper towels nearby. And what you're gonna do is take a spatula that has holes in it, because you want the oil to drain. And in the order that you put them into the hot oil, you want to start flipping them when the edges start turning brown. You only want to flip to the other side once. So, you know, just make sure they're not sticking anywhere. This is my little test nugget. And, you know, you can peek, see how they're doing.
Okay.
Depending on how much oil you have and your stove and all that, it usually, each side cooks for about 5 to 6 minutes. Also, I want to say that I've laid down a couple of, you know, paper grocery bags, and then I've layered on some paper towels, and you want to deliver them from the skillet to this paper to absorb some of the oil. And let's check. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, so we're gonna start flipping. Ooh, nice, perfect. So you wanna take a look at these? So you want nice golden brown sides. You wanna make sure everything's cooked. All right. Whoop, come back here. All right. I like to flip them on something so that it doesn't splatter. This one could probably be done a little more, so we might have to flip it over again. Let's see. But, you know, you just want them to be not too thick so they cook, and golden brown like this. All right, well, this batch is due to come out, so This is what the second side looks like. So the second side usually cooks a little faster than the first side, so just keep watching. You don't want them to burn after all this hard work. See, so you gotta move a little fast. Well, we're done. It was pretty painless. I'm gonna put the last batch in here. And I don't know, we have about 50 or 60 latkes. You can see how deliciously golden brown they are. And I'll be back in a minute and we can serve them and enjoy them. We eat them traditionally with applesauce and sour cream. It's a big divide. Some people are team sour cream and some people are team applesauce. I myself like both. So see you in a minute. Like that, just like that. Oh. Oh my God, give this a try. It's a little bit of work, but the results are definitely worth it. And we'll be eating these all week. See you later.